right. What is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, Glasshopper77. Happy Friday to you. Olive Ray, welcome in, man. R Pink, let's go. Hit those likes, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for modding R Pink. Always good to see you in here. Crypto Wanderer 1, smash the likes. Yes, thank you for that. Welcome in. Waffle Cones, feels like a weekend trap. Yeah, it kind of does. And I'll talk to you guys about what I'm expecting, whether that impulse is done and we're going to see a bigger move to the upside, or if we just grabbed liquidity from yesterday or from Wednesday, and are we about to dump? Dad87, welcome in. Happy Friday. Could we go to the golden pocket to fill the CME gap on Bitcoin? Yes, we could, and I'll explain that in just a second. Lil Rich 69, that's an awesome name. What's up, man? Welcome in. Caleb, welcome in as well. Caleb Corzo, welcome in. Let's see here. Anyone else thinking metals are topping could lead to a move back into crypto? Well, let's see. Bitcoin's starting to get a volatile move to the downside, guys. I might even actually take some profit. If we lose the VWAP, I might take a little bit of profit out of this long from 87.5. Yeah, Holy Quorum, welcome in. Crypto Wander, also welcome in. And what's up, man? Ja Feel, happy Friday, or is happy Hump Day 3.0 to you, my friend. Long Soul again at 125.91. Yes, I long Soul again too, and we're gonna cover Soul. We'll cover some of the altcoins, but we've got some price action today, guys, and we're going into the weekend. So remember, on Saturdays especially, we can expect those really slow, boring ranges. Go out, spend some time with the family, or go do something nice for yourself. But I think next week's going to be really interesting. Luciano, welcome in. Stanko, Bob Nar, welcome in. Middle school kid, tired of this, just want to make a move up or down, either up or down. Well, yes, I think a move is coming. And Crypto Clown World, welcome in, man. Okay, guys, and yes, we're rejecting that 4-hour order block, which was a very, very nice order block. So here's Dad87. You asked, could we come up to this golden pocket? So, guys, we've been looking at this move down from 98K to 87K as an impulsive move down. And if this impulse is done, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, then in a corrective move, and if this is the start of a much bigger drop on the daily time frame, a bigger impulse on the daily time frame, then we're kind of expecting a move, a 3-wave corrective move overall to make a lower high before making another lower low. Now, if this entire move from 98 to 87 is done and it's like a wave 1, the wave 2 commonly will move up to that golden pocket being the most common target. We also do have some very strong liquidations right into that golden pocket. You could see, so yesterday I highlighted the liquidations right around $91,000. We came up and we grabbed that today, and now we're dropping. We also have very strong liquidations, the strongest liquidations locally above us at that golden pocket, $94,200, $94,100. So we could. And if this is going to be a bigger relief rally, which I did talk about yesterday, I talked about, guys, we hit key support and we should be expecting some sort of relief rally to come in, because if this impulse is done, now we want a corrective move to the upside to make a lower high before making that lower low. And so this has been a little bit hard to count as far as Elliott waves go, just because it's so messy in here. But we could be looking at either way. We're looking kind of for this 3-wave corrective move, and we finally did come up and take out those Wednesday highs, and now we're dumping. I also want to show you guys, the title of the video today was we've been in a short squeeze primarily. Look at how much open interest has been dropping for today. Really, it's been pretty wild. And if I zoom in onto the 5-minute chart on our order flow, it gets really, really interesting to see what happened here. So you can see we started pumping, we made a low earlier today, but it was a higher low. It was even a higher low than yesterday's low. You can see if we put in yesterday's low where we hit that golden pocket, we hit the 618 golden pocket, but we front ran the daily and the 0.65 golden pocket. We pretty much made a double bottom today, just very, very slightly higher. And I was expecting to come down and hit that daily level, but we didn't. And then we started pumping and we took the liquidity locally. If we look at our open interest here, you can see really this was our low from today. And really from that low today, open interest has been dropping pretty steadily from that low on this rise to the upside. And you can see what is a forced close of a short? It's a market buy. And so we see here, we saw our CVD going up. Oops, wrong thing here. Sorry about that. We saw our open interest going, or our CVD going up as our open interest was going down. So it was the start of a squeeze, but really right towards the highs of the range, right when we started breaking out of those prior highs, is when we saw that big short squeeze to the upside. So let me put this Wednesday's highs. Let's just throw that on there. You can see Wednesday's highs around $90,400. And right when we started kind of coming up to those highs, we saw that big short squeeze. Look at, and primarily right coming into those highs, a lot of short positions were stopped out because that's what you expect in a liquidity grab. You're stopping out the short positions and taking away that liquidity. So huge push up in CVD, almost straight vertical push up in CVD, showing it. But because, so that's market longs coming in. If your CVD is rising, it's market longs coming in. But we know those weren't new market longs. They were short positions getting closed out. And we know that because your open interest is dropping here. If your open interest was rising during this push up, it would be fresh longs that are successfully pushing the price up. But if your open interest is dropping, it's a short squeeze. So we saw this, primarily this whole thing being a short squeeze, but specifically this last leg of it, a short squeeze up to grab that liquidity. And I talk about this a lot on the channel, but when a short squeeze ends, if you do not see new money stepping in, new long positions stepping in to support the price, you will often drop right back down after getting that liquidity grab. It's a stop hunt, and then you can continue with the overall kind of downtrend that we've been in. So we do have to be worried about if we lose the VWAP, we could start to see a bigger drop to the downside, maybe even taking out those 87.5K lows. Now, it is interesting here also, though, what we are seeing at the top. We saw a lot of people longing the breakout of these highs, or not a lot of people, but we saw some longs stepping in right towards the top of the move. And now we are seeing a long squeeze to the downside. So you see we're dropping here. Man, why do I keep doing that? We're seeing a drop here in the last hour or so. Our CVD is going down, means shorts are coming into the market, but they're not new shorts. They're shorts that are getting stopped out. That's why our open interest is dropping so aggressively here. Or excuse me, longs getting stopped out. So a long being forced to close is a market sell. And that's why we're seeing the CVD drop here. Market sells are coming in, but it is not new market sells. It's longers getting stopped out of their positions. So short squeeze followed by a long squeeze. And this is going to be crucial to see if we can hold this VWAP. If we can, I do think we'll make another move up to hit that 0.382 Fibonacci. That is about $91,300. If we don't, if we lose the VWAP, then I think we could see a bigger drop. So 91,284 is that 382. Now, the reason why I'm looking for a possible rejection here, because the 382 often rejects you in a strong trend. And from 98K down to 87K, this has been a pretty strong trend to the downside. So impulsive trend to the downside. Do we get that corrective move up to the 382 and then drop? Now, you can see on my chart, I've actually been favoring a little bit higher. I've been favoring between $92,600 and $93,000 because we do have some volume levels of resistance in here. We have that naked daily point of control that's in there, and we have the value area high and our 0.5 Fibonacci. So if I throw on our naked daily points of control, you can see right at 93K, pretty much that naked daily point of control. Value area high of the range in there as well. And then our 0.5 Fibonacci. But let's see what happens here. We could continue this kind of sideways and up grind for a bit. And we could even throw on a little ascending channel. So we can go from the 80.5K lows. Let me just, dang it. There we go. Okay, 80.5K lows. And we'll bring it up to Wednesday's highs, the kind of the highs of that range that we were seeing. And we might just keep grinding sideways and up inside of this channel. And you can see the midline of the channel is being respected. And oftentimes on these like relief rallies that we see, you kind of do grind up because a lot of algos and bots trade this, trade Bitcoin. So we kind of see a channel structure to the upside. And if we can hold the VWAP, we might make another run at the 382, maybe see a drop from the 382 and then come up to the top of the channel where your value area high, your naked daily would be. And then I would want to see this kind of get lost here. And I would want to see some impulsive price action to the downside start. But we are seeing, as of today, as of now, we took the liquidity of the highs, and you can see we wick past it a little bit. And of course, a lot of people were longing the breakout there, and now we're starting to drop underneath it. So this is somewhat of a bad sign here to see that liquidity grab. And then if we also look at pulling our volume of this range, we are now starting to drop back inside of the value area high. And if we continue to close some candles, I would say if we close a couple hourly candles back inside this value area high, it's likely that we are going to come lower. And it would be really nice now to take out these semi-equal lows from yesterday and today, this morning, into that daily level, or at least, yeah, if we drop down there again, it's going to be really risky that we could just continue dropping. I am still favoring that we are going to see that drop down to grab the liquidity at $86,000. And that liquidity down there at $86,000 is a lot. And that's also into our value area low. You can see all that liquidity, $86,200, or pretty much 86,000 would grab it all. But if we zoom out on the chart, so let me go ahead and hide this local TA real quick. We'll hide all the local stuff. And let me just grab this and hide this as well. And if we look at this range that we've been in for about 2.5 months, that value area low is right down where all this liquidity trail was left. And I've talked about this yesterday. So this liquidity trail was left from that holiday week between Christmas and New Year's, where we kept making very slight higher lows on the chart, leaving a very strong trail of liquidity, where if we do start to enter that trail, it's likely that we just sweep down very quickly to sweep all of those those stops within there, get that liquidity grab, that stop hunt into the value area low, and then we would want to see a bit of a rise here. And there is, like I said in yesterday's live stream, there is still a possibility that we're in a wave 4 corrective move right now before seeing a 5. So 2 ways you can count this. This could be a 1, 2, 3, where we saw that 4, 5 that's done, and now we're going to see a bigger relief rally. Or we could say this was a 1, 2, all of this was a 3, and now we're in the 4, and then we're going to drop to 86,000 on the 5. But either way, I am expecting a lower high to come in before making another lower low. And then if 87,500 breaks, we'll see some bounces along the way. I do think we'll see a bounce from 86,000 just because of the amount of liquidity there. But overall, we're really looking to kind of take the lows at 80.5K. We're looking at this entire 2.5-2 month long range. This entire structure was a corrective structure up into a very key resistance. And now we're looking for impulsive price action to the downside to come down and take out that low. I do know a couple other traders that I really, really respect as far as Elliott wave traders. They're looking at this a little bit differently than I am. They're looking at this as a 3-wave corrective move and a W, followed by a larger 3-wave corrective move in an X, and then they're looking for only a 3-wave move down in a Y, but they're still looking to come take out this 80.5K lows. So whether you're looking at the move down from the all-time high as a 3-wave corrective move, or this is a 4 and then a 5, and we're looking for an impulsive move, either way, you're looking to come down and take out those lows when we rejected from 98K so harshly. That's the overall macro time frame. Now, yes, we will see bounces along the way, guys. It's not going to be a straight drop, even if it's impulsive moves to the downside. Like if this looks pretty impulsive, you see moves up that last a couple of days, you see moves up that last some time. So these are relief rallies, and this is why I talked about I'm expecting a relief rally from this key support yesterday. That was the thumbnail of the video yesterday. And we're starting to short squeeze here. So these short squeezes can get pretty volatile on crypto and Bitcoin. Okay, let me check the chat here. I did hit like on both accounts. Thank you so much, Crypto Wanderer, for hitting the like button. Yeah, guys, if you do get any sort of insight into the market from this live stream, please hit the like button for me. Please share the video with anyone you think might find it interesting. And let's see if we can catch some live trades today. I know this was kind of a no trade zone for me, this whole entire area. I mean, I longed 87.5, but this after that long from 87.5, I haven't really been interested in any shorts or any longs from this area the last day and a half or so. Yeshwanth, much love to you. Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. And let me check out. So, guys, what was that? Luciano talked about that 4-hour order block. And what an order block is when you see a trend, like a bunch of red candles together, red candle, red candle, red candle, you see one green candle smashed in between those red candles, and then you continue the red candle trend. And you can see a lot of these red candles in here are actually pretty nice imbalanced candles too, creating fair value gaps. But with this green candle here, this is called an order block. And oftentimes you will come up to kind of hit that order block and reject from that order block before continuing the trend down on relief rally. So very nice. We just came up, if we look at the top of the order block, which is the top of the body of that 4-hour candle, we rejected perfectly from that order block there. So, I mean, very, very nice rejection. We took the liquidity of the range highs, of our local range highs over the past couple of days. And this 4-hour candle right now looks very bearish. Let's see if we close it this way. You know, we got 28 minutes left, but seeing such a wick to the upside, rejecting from that order block and taking liquidity is not a good sign. Now, I understand that the money flow looks pretty good, and we did have the bull divs on the chart on the 2-hour and under. If we zoom into the 2-hour chart, and this is why I was expecting a bounce from $87,500, because it was crucial support. You saw point of control, a daily level, naked daily point of control, naked weekly point of control, and the weekly was just above at about 87,850-ish. But we did see the nice bull divs coming down into this area. Nice bull divs here. Not as nice on Market Cipher B, but NAMI showed them very clearly, and the money flow was curving to the upside really nicely on NAMI as we were getting that hit into support. So expecting at least some sort of relief rally here. But the thing is, guys, this rejection here could be it. This could have been it. This could have been the fake out, the push to the upside, and then we could be about to drop. And if we start to lose this daily at 88,310, because that's also where your old golden pocket was. So if we pulled the golden pocket here, you could see that golden pocket was right in that area. And now, you know, we don't want to lose that daily level that hasn't been tapped yet. But the fact that we came up first and grabbed the liquidity of the range highs and we're rejecting. So two things here. We rejected right from the top of the order block perfectly, and liquidity grab, the 2-hour candle closed right at that liquidity grab. We wicked up to hit the order block. But other than that, you know, pretty harsh candle to the downside now. And if we zoom in onto the 1-hour chart, on the 1-hour chart, momentum is topping out. Momentum is already topped out on NAMI, and the money flow does look like it wants to roll over here. So this is a bit scary as far as the liquidity grab into an order block. Now, are we going to drop to the downside? And then also in terms of volume profile trading, you can see that we are back inside of that value area. We attempted to break out. We hit into some local resistance. We grabbed liquidity, and now we're back inside. So we really want to see if the bulls want to remain in a local uptrend here. We want this VWAP to hold, which will act as support on an intraday level if the intraday trend, which is up, is going to continue. If we start to lose it, you know, and even close 15-minute candles below that VWAP, which it looks like we're starting to lose it, then this could get really messy really quickly. And once again, with a short squeeze, guys, with a short squeeze, you can see that this entire move pretty much was a short squeeze to the upside. Now, when that short squeeze ends, if you do not see new long positions stepping in, you want to see your open interest starting to increase, as well as the CVD starting to increase here, which means new long positions are coming in to support that price. If you don't see that, then you're going to most likely drop right back down to where you started. And that is what looks like it is happening right now. We are seeing, and you can see even on our aggregated open interest, it is dropping heavily over the past hour or so, and a bit of a long squeeze because our CVD is decreasing here. So CVD decreasing means shorts are coming in, but we know those are not new short positions. We know those are late longers that are getting stopped out. So now we're seeing the long squeeze down. Classic trap, short squeeze up, long squeeze down. We'll see how this plays out, but I really am probably going to take some profit on that long position from $87,500 with probably about 25% out of the position. And actually, I might do that soon here. Let's see. Let me see what happens at this POC real quick. But sometimes you just got to be happy with what the market gives you. And the thing is yeah, I really should have started looking at taking profit when we started losing this prior high in here at $90,500. I was getting ready for the stream and everything, and you don't always catch the top and bottoms on trades, guys. That's the thing. You got to be happy with what the market will give you. You can't get too greedy and think every position, every long you get into or every short you get into is gonna be the one. And if you have that mentality, then sometimes you'll make bad decisions or you'll get too greedy and you'll round trip it. You'll make that whole profit on the way up, and then you'll end up getting stopped out at break even or with a little bit of profit and say, gosh, why did I round trip that? And I've learned through experience not to do that, because trust me, I've done that in the past. Okay. Oh, Mark Dutch, welcome in, man. Boobs. Mark, do you see my camera? No, I'm just kidding. It's good to see you in here, Mark. Welcome in, man. Thank you for being here and thank you for modding. Mac Jenkins, welcome in as well. Possible hidden bull div on the 4-hour forming once we reclaim 80K. Let's see. On the 4-hour, you're saying hidden bull divs on the 4-hour? Let's see. Where are you looking at? So with hidden bull divs, you want to be making a lower low in the momentum wave and a higher low on the chart. I don't see. I'm not sure if you're looking at Market Cipher B or what oscillator you're looking at down here, but to me, it doesn't look like it yet. And guys, look at this money flow on the 4-hour time frame. Still aggressively leaving here. Still pretty aggressively leaving. Now, NAMI shows the exact opposite. We've just crossed into the green, and it's looking pretty heavily green. But in 23 minutes, we close this 4-hourly candle. And if we see this kind of wick on a 4-hour candle, taking liquidity into an order block, and then we start to reject, this could roll over very, very quickly, and we could see that move down continue, and the overall money flow continuing to drain out here. Okay, let's see here. I shorted from 91K. This is going down to 50K. Okay, now, Mick, this is, I'm not picking on you here at all, okay? But this is kind of what I am talking about with, you can't think every trade is the one that's going to go down, because we do have very, very strong support below us. And you need to learn to take profits. And I'm not saying you in particular, I'm saying as a trader, you need to learn to take profits at these levels where you can expect bounces or expect relief rallies or anything like that. So 91K was a good short. You're in profit on that. But say we do come down to $86,000 and finish this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we come down and we hit this value area low, grab all this liquidity. This would be an area where if this is the 5-wave impulse that's done, you might see that relief rally up to the golden pocket. And we'll just pull a theoretical golden pocket. Let's just go from the highs, and I'll just put it on the value area low, or I'll put it right where that liquidity grab is, around $86,300, right where this low is in here. You might see a rally all the way up to $93,000, $94,000 after that low is made. So say you're in the short from 91K, but you're not really wanting to take profit until much, much lower because you think it's going to 50K. And it might. By the way, if we're in a bear market, it absolutely could go to 50K. But the thing is, you will see relief rallies in the meantime. So like you're in profit all the way here, and then say we start to bounce here, and you're like, no, I'm not taking profit. This thing is eventually going to go to, to 50K. And then you come up and you get stopped out, because if you're shorting 91K, you should have your stop above that high. That should be your trading plan. Is your stop is above that high. TP would be taking out that low, or maybe even, down to value area low there. Nice risk to reward trade, nice little scalp trade in here. But if you're going to say, okay, I'm not taking profit until we get to 70K, which is a major support level, or if we get, ultimately not until we get down to 50K, that is when you can round trip these things and kind of waste a trade in there. So, and you're in profit right now. You are in profit on that trade right now. What do I think about 89.4K long POC plus the 618? Okay, let's look at that. I mean, man, that's a tough one. I personally wouldn't be taking that. Let's 15-minute chart. 15-minute was showing some pretty good bear divs on NAMI, not on Market Cipher B, but look at money flows leaving on Market Cipher B, money flows leaving on NAMI. And as we were making those new highs today, you can see the bear divs forming here on NAMI. So, would I take a long from there? Personally, I wouldn't. Now, I understand if you're trying to scalp this. Let's just go from today's low to today's high. Yeah, it is the golden pocket. It is the point of control. It is a little bit of a support zone. And if you're looking to long that, let's see here. Let's check this out. I mean, you do have some nice little bull divs here, but on the 5-minute, you had some pretty big bear divs on as we were making these highs throughout the day in this short squeeze. You saw those pretty nice bear divs forming, and now money flows heavily crossing into the red. Very locally, yes, some micro bull divs on NAMI and the big green dot on Market Cipher B. So let's say this. Okay, you want to look at taking a long from this area. Let's just say you bounce, and then let's wait until we recover the VWAP, because that would be, even though you're not getting as good of an entry, that would be the kind of the better confirmation. Now you're going to put your stop below that local low. What I would be even looking at as soon as we take out those highs, it's a TP1. So yeah, that is a good trade at 4-to-1 risk reward ratio. I mean, that's a good scalp long trade there. And that would just be a TP1. You could bring it up to 91.3 or 91,284, where that 382 is. That's a 4.5-to-1 risk reward ratio. Or even looking to bring it up to that value area high in there would be probably be for me a continuation. I would want to really see let's zoom out to the hourly chart. Let's see, how do we have some bear divs? No real bear divs on the hourly chart. But the thing is, with this entire move up from 87.5K, this looks corrective. Just like on the higher time frames, like this here looks corrective. No really impulsive price action within this move up. So relief rally, yes. Impulse to the upside, about to rocket to the upside, no. Now, on the same hand, as everyone was getting hyper bullish from the 80.5K lows up to 98K, I was saying this entire range in here looked like a corrective structure where we're more likely to reject and continue down to take out those lows. And you know, that rejection at 98K and the impulsive price action we saw on the way down kind of confirmed that that's more likely. That's a much higher probability. But you will see. So like if we look at this entire corrective structure, let me see if I can grab my bars pattern. And we look at this corrective structure here. And I know I'm going to have to shrink this up a whole lot. But we could be looking at something very similar in here, right? You get that corrective structure, you come up, and then you just drop right back down. So there will be relief rallies after impulses in. There's relief rallies. You know, after impulses in, there's relief rallies. But that doesn't mean that it's about to, you know, take off to new all-time highs or break up, you know, start to break above the key resistance that's there. Yeah, please hit the like button, guys. Please subscribe to the channel. Real quick, while we're here, I want to go over the partners of the channel. So the main partner of the channel is BYDFI. They are a VPN and KYC free exchange. All you need is an email and a password to sign up. If you do sign up using my affiliate link in the description, you can get a minimum of 20% discounts on trading fees and earn up to 40% if you deposit some large amounts into the exchange. They're offering up to $8,100 in futures trading bonuses, depending on how much volume you move in the futures markets. And they're offering some of the best initial deposit bonuses in the entire industry. For instance, if you deposit $100, you can get a 50% deposit bonus, which is the highest I've seen of any exchange for a $100 deposit. And then 20%, 10% deposits here based on these amounts of money. And they're also offering a new reward as well, where you can trade Bitcoin and you can earn Bitcoin. So it's depending on your trading volume here, but you can actually earn free Bitcoin, actual real Bitcoin, up to $10,000 in Bitcoin just for trading on the exchange. It's really an extra incentive for you. So, you know, if you trade over $100 million worth of volume, you can get up to $10,000 worth of Bitcoin. And you can see here all the different kind of tiers you have to hit to get that amount of Bitcoin. Lastly, with BYDFI, I have partnered with them to create a Telegram community where I do post my updates on the market throughout the day. I kind of let you guys know if I'm longing or if I'm shorting a certain coin, some trade setups in there, kind of what I'm thinking. You will also have a general chat in there where you can tag me and ask me questions. if you're interested in signing up for that Telegram, because it is a private community in a partnership with BYDFI, all you have to do is sign up with BYDFI using my affiliate link in the description and then deposit $100 into the exchange. That $100 is your money to trade with. You'll get the 20% discounts on trading fees, and you can earn the 50% deposit bonus if you KYC. Once you've done that, once you've signed up with BYDFI and deposited the money, you can click the Telegram link in the description of this video. And once you're in the Telegram, type in /verify in your user ID, which will be right up here. And that'll get you access to the Telegram group. And once you're in, you're in. Okay, second partner of the channel is NAMI Trading. And NAMI is this bottom indicator down here, this momentum and money flow indicator. And you guys see me talk about it every single stream as we're coming up to key resistances or coming down to key support levels. I'm looking at the indicator to see if we have confirmation to enter a trade. So I'm not just blindly entering trades. Like we knew 87K was support, but it's like I'm not just going to blindly enter there just because it hits it. I want to see confirmation that we have some bullish signals. So I'm looking for bull divs as we come down into support, money flow looking like it's rising to the upside. And if I see those bullish confirmations, then I open the position. If I don't see them, I don't open it. So it's kept me out of a lot of bad trades and got me into some good trades with a lot greater confidence. It's like having the proper tools to do the job. So if you're interested in purchasing NAMI, I have partnered with them to get you guys 50% off. If you use discount code DIVINE50, you can get 50% off, and both the discount code and the link for NAMI is in the description. Lastly, I'm partnered with two other exchanges. I'm partnered with MEXC and Bybit, both offering some discounts on trading fees. Bybit's offering up to $30,000 in futures trading volume, futures bonuses, depending on how much volume you trade. And MEXC is offering 10% initial deposit bonus up to $1,000. Okay, let's see here. Let me go ahead and continue checking the chat really quick here. Canceled my date in Greenland. Dang, man. Mark Dutch. This is Golden Pocket rejection from Monday to the bottom. Okay, Golden Pocket rejection from Monday. Yeah, Monday to the bottom. Okay, yes, and yes, you're right. That is probably the Golden Pocket right in there. Okay, yep, Golden Pocket 4-hour order block. Very nice. And guys, oftentimes in lower high rejections, that Golden Pocket is a key psychological level. It's literally programmed into our subconscious, into our minds. It's found throughout all of nature. So Golden Pocket's a very good level. So 4-hour order block, Golden Pocket, liquidity grab of Wednesday's highs. Let's see if we do see that drop now. And actually, let me zoom in here on the 5-minute. Yeah, guys, I think I am going to pull out. Give me just a second here. I think I'm going to just pull out some of the profit on that long trade from 87.5. Yeah, give me just a second, guys. All right. I am concerned that this relief rally to the upside is done and that we are going to drop. Now, I said I pulled some out. I just pulled 25% out. I just marketed out 25% of the long trade. I'm in from 80,501. I thought it was 511, but it's 501. Now, if we come down to the daily and bounce from the daily and grab this semi-equal lows and start to bounce from the daily, I would consider adding some more back in from here. But it's not the highest probability trade, and we're ranging sideways, which weekends often range sideways like this. So it's very possible that we could continue within this kind of parallel range. Let's just, something like this throughout the weekend where we kind of range sideways within this range. And that's why I would be willing to look at possibly adding some back in at that daily level. Just as and like, remember this, first of all, this move from 87K, I never intended this to be a swing long position. I intended it to be a scalp to a day trade long position. Really coming, if we came up to $94,200, I would absolutely be taking out at least 75%. First of all, at the value area high, I'll probably take some out if I start to see a rejection from that value area high. Like, as you know, we have the naked daily at 93,000, naked daily point of control at 93,000. So say we do, something like this and we break out, we come up, we hit that naked daily and then start to lose the value area high. I would probably pull some out as soon as we started to lose that value area high and even look to add to my short position from there as well. Okay. Quiles, what's up, man? Welcome in. Let's see. We are in the bear market. 98K was the Mick Oxlongs. I tend to agree with you. I tend to agree that and I covered this in yesterday's live stream, so I'm not going to go too much into this, but on the higher time frames, on the monthly chart, on the weekly chart, we have very significant bearish divergences on the chart. Making new all-time highs, coming up to about 126K, and we have really lost market structure since, on the daily time frame, we've really lost some very key market structure and, taken out some pretty key lows here. And so I do think a bear market's in, but does that mean that we won't see big relief rallies? Like this was a big relief corrective rally, in my opinion, before coming lower. Now, 74K is going to be important liquidity, and even more important is 70K. At 70K, I do think we could even come all the way down to 70K, which is a very important golden pocket. It's a very important support level, prior range, our 2024 range value area high. And if we're going to come down to that 70K to 68K, your prior market tops were there, your prior bull market top was there. I would expect, even if we came down to that level, maybe even a move up to SFP the all-time highs, or even to come up a little bit higher and then see that big drop. And this does happen quite a bit on Bitcoin. We kind of already saw something like that where we dropped here. We broke weekly market structure by taking out the range lows. And then we kind of rised up to between the 1.236 and the 1.382, which is a flat correction target, directly into our pitchfork midline here. And then, we've rejected. But I would, even if it's a bear market, we can still play. That's the great thing about being a derivatives trader, guys, or a futures trader, is you can short and long. So we can make money no matter what the price is doing. It's really just about finding the right opportunities and using good risk management and hedging yourself. I like to be what Jason kind of coined the term, a schlong. So, you're short from higher targets and you're long from lower targets. You take profit one when you get to key support. You take profit one, probably at 91K, take profit one, and then you move your stop to break even. Now you're in a risk-free short from up higher, and then say you longed, 84K, 83K or something like that, and you're looking to take profit at that 98K resistance. Well, now you're long from down here. You take profit one, you move your stop to break even, and no matter what, you're in two risk-free trades. One of them's going to get stopped out depending on if we drop. Your short's going to get stopped out, your long's going to get stopped out, your short's going to keep running. So it's a really good, as far as market psychology and trading psychology, to open hedges against yourself. And it also helps deal with the FOMO that you can feel on the charts at times. But I'm expecting lower too, but that 70K level, man, that 70K level, macro golden pocket. It's also our 1.618 Fibonacci extinction. It is your prior bull market highs, and it's the value area high of your range in 2024, your 8-month-long range in 2024. So 70K to me is very, very key support, where I would expect at least a multi-$1,000 rally, even if it's going to be coming down here, 70K, and then get a rally all the way to backtest this pitchfork band before seeing continuation in a drop. Now, this pitchfork, I want to talk about this pitchfork for a bit, because you can see how well it's been respected, especially for all of 2025. I mean, rejected at the beginning of the year, perfectly from the top of the pitchfork, dropped all the way till April, came to the bottom of the upper band, saw a strong bounce, and then we came and made another push to try to break that pitchfork. And this is where we saw that distribution range right up here, a distribution range at the top of the pitchfork. We dropped all the way to the bottom, hit the bottom of the pitchfork band. Once again, just like when we hit it down here, we saw a nice relief rally. So we are chopping within these larger pitchfork bands. And I say this often on the channel, within these big pitchfork bands, you will see chop in and around these bands. But we are rejecting from key resistance, and now I would expect that drop. And if we look at just that, I still am looking at this as a potential impulse, even though this fourth wave is kind of long in time. Time is not an invalidation, but it is a concern. So like if we're looking at this entire drop from all-time high down to the October 10th lows as a wave one, and then we're looking at this move up, here's a wave two, that took 17 days. That was our 17 days. Now, if we're looking at from 80.5K to the 98K area, and I think I did that a little, let's see, you're looking at almost 2 months, right? So it is pretty, 54 days. So 17, it's 3 times longer almost, about 3 times as long, but that's not an invalidation. And usually when you get to over 4 times as long of a corrective move, then you have to say, hey, I got to get worried that this is not impulsive. It could, this structure is separate from this move down, but it's only 3 times as long. So this could be a wave 1, this could be a wave 2, this could be a wave 3, this could be your wave 4. And if we're looking at the wave 5, your common targets to drop in a wave 5 are between the 1.236 and the 1.618. So yeah, are we about to see an impulse? And this is what I was talking about. This entire push down could just be a wave 1 of an impulse, wave 2, and then we could get our big explosive third wave. Wave 3, maybe take out the lows, hit 78K. 78K is an important support level. Get a wave 4 and then a wave 5 all the way down to 70K. Now that's pretty aggressive for a one impulse to go from 126 to 70K, but it's still not invalidated. Let's just say that it hasn't been invalidated. Time-wise is concerning, and that's why some other Elliott traders are looking at this as a 3-wave corrective move. This is a 3-wave corrective move, but either way, they're still looking for a 3-wave corrective move down to take out your 80K lows. And that is a valid count as well. So it's about probabilities with Elliott waves and trying to find a bias. But whether you go with a larger, WXY correction to the downside or an impulse in a big impulse down, a 5-wave impulse, you're still looking ultimately to take out your 80K lows eventually. And because we did reject from our kind of most important resistance on the chart, that important resistance was our anchored VWAP from the all-time high. It was also our macro range, that entire 2025 range. It was the POC of that range. Oops. So very important rejection there. And the way we rejected and started pushing down with increased volume in what looks like an impulse to the downside is, let's say, concerning to be the very least, if you're a bull. All right. Mind Tapestry, welcome in. Good to see you again. Happy Friday and blessings. Learned so much. I see the fib levels, volume up and down, pitchfork, strength level. Awesome, man. Well, I'm so glad that the live streams are helping you and you're learning something from them. Yes, it can be confusing when you have a bunch of different levels, right? So I do use Fibonacci levels. I use volume profiles like, high volume nodes, value area high, point of control, value area low. I use naked daily points of controls, pitchforks, channels. It is confusing, but what you got to do is find a strategy that works for you, and for me, my strategy is to look where there's a lot of confluence. So I have a bunch of different tools that I use. You can see all these favorites up in here, a bunch of different tools that I use, anchored VWAPs. A lot of it is volume and liquidity based, but the pitchforks are trend based, right? So we're looking at a trend. For instance, in this bigger pitchfork here, we're looking at a macro trend. Let me zoom out to the 3-day time frame. This is really a pretty key pitchfork, and this one is an unusual pitchfork. This is not a traditional pitchfork pull, but because it's been so highly respected, if a tool has been respected in the past, it's more likely to be respected in the future. But we're looking at where the trend can end, right? And so we've been in a pretty aggressive trend for 3 years. We come up to the top, this is where our trend could end, and this is where we could start a bigger bear market, a bigger drop to the downside. So knowing you just got to mark out the key levels of confluence, and wherever those key levels are, now you can come down and look for your confirmations on the trade if you're getting confirmations. But it's a process, right? It's a process of adjusting to find a strategy that works best for you. There are people that trade pretty much solely off Elliott waves, and that's their strategy that works for them, and they're great at it. The ones that really are successful at it are great at it. There are people that use pretty much only volume profiles, or that's their kind of main bread and butter. They use volume profiles. They're a volume profile trader, and they're very successful at it. There are people that use smart money concepts, order blocks, and things like that. They are very successful at it. So find whatever works for you, and you're going to have to tinker around a little bit, and it's going to be experimental. So in that phase that you're experimenting, you can either use a demo account or you can use a small amount of money. Whatever strategy you're using, your risk management should stay the same, right? Risking 1 to 3% per trade. 3% on like big trades, but Really, most of my trades, I'm risking 1%, 1% per trade. You always want to have a plan ahead of time, because if you don't have a plan ahead of time, you don't know you're in validation, right? So for instance, let me zoom in onto that 30-minute chart. Let's say that we were looking to long 87.5K because there was key support down there. So what I did is when we came down there, we wicked all the way down to 87,150. But as soon as we reclaimed $87,500, I entered long, and I knew that I wanted to long down here, but I waited for the reaction. I waited for the confirmation of the bull divs. Now I know my invalidation, because if we break below this low, my theory was wrong. So that my trading plan is wrong. And if your plan is wrong, you need to get out as soon as possible, losing the least amount of money as possible. And I knew we were at least going to have some sort of rally here. And actually, my rally is up to about 92,600 in even 92.2-ish, 92.3. Now I know, okay, this is my zone. This is my trade plan. But if your plan is wrong, you get out of the trade. You know that you have to have an invalidation. And if you're not planning your trades ahead of time, you don't know. And also, you don't know how to calculate your position size, because your position size is literally calculated off your stop loss percentage here. So if you don't have a stop loss percentage set, you're not going to be able to properly calculate a 1% stop loss. And then that's just kind of gambling. That's not educated trading. That is gambling in some ways. And sure, you might win some trades and you might even be pretty good at it. But, one of my main teachers, Bitcoin Hyper, who I kind of got started with, he was my first real mentor and teacher. He told me a story once. He won 46 trades in a row. He got really confident, really good at TA. He won 46 trades in a row, but he wasn't using proper risk management. And the 47th trade he lost, but he went in about 70% of his entire portfolio. He went in and got liquidated. He lost 70% of his portfolio after winning 46 trades and building that sucker up for months and months and months. You lose one trade, and if you don't have proper risk management, you're back to square one. So really, trading is not a get rich quick scheme. It's more about slow, consistent profits. And also, no trader wins 100% of their trades either. If they do, I guarantee you they're either lying to you, or man, they should be a billionaire, because if they're compounding all those wins, putting it back in, compounding, put it back in, then they've figured out a secret that 99.9% of the world has not. Okay, let's see here. Let me keep going on this. Yeah, and Mark, thank you for posting the BYDFI link in there. Machi HK, welcome in, brother. You added to more shorts at $90,700. All right, well, yeah, that, really, once we lost those prior highs of 90.5, that was pretty bad to lose those prior highs of 90.5 there. And I get it. Like overall, we are expecting, we were just expecting a relief rally from this bounce. We weren't expecting a big reversal. So there's a difference between a relief rally and a reversal, right, guys? And a reversal is really kind of changing your overall trend. So our trend from 98K to 87K was a bearish trend. In a reversal, you expect to kind of change that trend and start to, really see a move to the upside to make really bullish market structure on more macro timeframes. A relief rally is just a small rally within the bigger trend. The bigger trend is down. You're seeing a small rally within the bigger trend, but the bigger trend is going to continue. The bigger trend is going to continue. Okay. Caught a nice long scalp at 88.6 today, but still holding the swing short from higher. Awesome. Drumhop TV, that's awesome. And if you did catch that long from 88.6, that's a really nice entry. So now you have a really nice invalidation as well, right? That was a really awesome trade. So if you're in that 88.6, like let's just say in that general area, your stop is either going to go below the low from today, or you could even put it below yesterday's low. Or you could even, if you really want to be safe, put it below the daily just a little bit. Give it a little bit of breathing room below the daily. And I would have taken at least a TP1 as soon as we broke those highs. For me, because I know that we're in a corrective range before overall probably continuing down, my TP1, and even if you take it past the daily, that's still a 6-to-1 risk reward scalp trade. So very awesome trade, Drumhop TV. Risking 1% to almost make 6%. And really, you could even hold some for higher. So that's awesome. When live camera. So Luciano, I don't know exactly about that. Once again, one of my other mentors, Jason Casper, he's very open with his trades. He shows his P&L. He shows everything on TV. Well, even in myself, scammers are constantly trying to get at me. Get at me through scam text messages, get at me through scam emails, all these different, phishing attempts. It's crazy how much, if you're in crypto, scammers target you. And he lost $700,000, and he had pretty good protocol. But I'm not trying to make myself a target for scammers, and that is one of the main reasons that I haven't put my face on videos, because I'm not completely comfortable yet with it. Eventually, I probably will plan to do it, and it will probably be, when we hit a certain milestone on the channel, I'll probably start to do that. And I know I could grow faster and get more views if I did put my face on the video, but I've also got children, so I don't want, I've got to be responsible as a father here. Okay. I tried a schlong on BYDFI and it left me with no positions. That is interesting, Warthog Thunderbolt. I think you might have to, there might be, it's called hedge mode. So there's two different modes, and I know Bybit has this as well, but you can either be in a mode where it will only let you long and not short at the same time. And if you switch the mode to something called hedge mode, then it will let you long and short at the same time. I can talk to my guy about that and see, or, just log into the exchange and go into the settings and look at turning on hedge mode. Kespo, man, it's good to see you in here. It's been a while. Welcome in, man. And Lost X, welcome in as well. Divine, could it be that the top we made today was the top ABC completed, perhaps? Before? Yes, it could be. So I was actually looking at this, and this range here from the weekly from Tuesday is a very messy range. But I was looking at this is a nice 3-wave corrective move, right here. And then we got kind of the big drop, a big push up to make a lower high, and then a higher low yesterday. That's a 3-wave corrective move there. This could be the W, that could be the X, and then we saw now here a 3-wave corrective move up in a Y. So all of this could be a WXY corrective move before seeing the drop down now. And there's a couple ways you could count this range in here, but whether we look at this range, no matter how you count this range as ABC, WXY, or whatever, there's not really any impulsive price action. All of these are 3-wave moves. If we wanted to see this be a bigger move, 1, 2, 3, you would have wanted to make a 4 and then a 5. You wanted to see a 5-wave move, even if it was a contracting diagonal or something like that. We didn't see a 5-wave move up. All of these moves so far have not been impulsive moves. So because of that, especially because the range started with a 3-wave corrective move here, it is more likely that this entire range for the past week from Tuesday is a corrective structure that is going to drop and eventually take out the lows. Just like on the daily time frame, this entire range started, let me go ahead and hide this real quick. This entire range started with a 3-wave corrective move and then drop. Well, you could even say this was a contracting diagonal. It's highly unlikely. So there is a slight bullish possibility of a contracting diagonal here, a 5-wave motive wave, impulsive motive wave, but it's unlikely. What's more likely is that we were seeing a series of a larger WXY correction in here. 3-wave move in a W, 3-wave move in an X, and then you get your big kind of 3-wave move in a Y here. Bigger WXY, and then you're looking for that drop. But now that if this WXY is finished here, you are looking for impulsive moves to the downside. And this is a higher probability impulse. Like I explained yesterday, guys, the move down, whether we say it's an unfinished impulse or a finished impulse, this is a very, I would say, over 80% chance that this is impulsive price action to the downside. So even if you see the relief rally, you're expecting a lower high before now another lower low, and then lower high, and then lower low. Because what I'm looking for personally is a bigger move to take out 80.5K. And whether that's going to be a Y wave of a larger, WXY, or the wave 5 and an impulse. I explained both of those earlier in the stream, so I don't want to go into that again. But yeah, we're expecting moves down. Also, we were expecting a move up to hit the POC once we kind of finally held the value area low. Wick passed it, came up, held it. So once we held it here, we were expecting a high possibility that we could come up to hit the POC. We did, and then we rejected. So Bitcoin's trading very technically right now. So is Solana. Guys, Solana has been so fantastic to trade, and we'll go into some of the altcoins in just a second here. Let's see here. Let me catch up in this chat really quickly. Brother Nature Joe, welcome in. Yeah, silver is all-time highs, guys. Silver's been really awesome. Barefoot Sailing Adventures. Thank you for joining, man. And awesome that you like the TA. Thank you for that kind comment, man. And thank you for being an OG. Very cool. I don't see you make comments a lot, but you know, you might be one of those lurkers, but I appreciate you being here from the start, man. A few of you guys have been here from the start, and I really appreciate y'all. And Christian and Mandy, welcome in as well, and you're welcome for the live. Thank you for being here for the live. Crypto Moon, I have it in about 30% still profitable with good risk management. Awesome. I have in about 30% still profitable with good risk management. So you're risking 30% per trade, Crypto Moon? I mean, that's a bit much for my liking, but if it's working for you, who's to say you shouldn't do it? You know? Captain Callout, it's been a while, man. Welcome in. Blue Collar Traders, welcome in. Newbie Crypto, welcome in. And put a COVID, be like Crypto and put a COVID mask on. Man, I don't know if I like the face diaper, dude. I don't know. Awesome. First comment. Well, Barefoot Sailing Adventures, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to have to check out your channel because I haven't seen it, but it sounds like a fun channel. And Archie TV, it's good to see you in here. I watch every day. Yeah, I know Archie TV. You're a lurker too, but I appreciate all you guys. Okay, let's go into some of the altcoins really quickly. I want to talk about Solana. Solana has been so nice to trade, guys. And Solana, I covered this yesterday, but we have a potential very big macro bearish scenario on Solana, but we also have a bullish scenario possible. So obviously the push from, you know, what was that? Way down $9, the bear market lows, all the way up to new all-time highs. Very bullish market structure, very big impulsive structure. But you can see since March of 2024, this high, we've been pretty much in a sideways range. This is our sideways range on the weekly time frame. Now, the scary part about this is we have weekly bearish divergences with money flow draining out of the range as the range is forming. Every time I've seen this on Market Cypher B, it has ended up being a distribution range. I showed you guys the examples of that yesterday on Bitcoin. I showed you guys daily time frame, daily range examples of that. So there is a possibility this is going to really start to distribute to the downside and pretty much bear market, right? But within this range, if we pull the volume profile of that range, and let me get rid of some of this small stuff in here. We'll just hide that one. All right, within this range, we have the macro volume profile. And if we look at that macro range volume profile, we're at the value area low, which is an important volume support. So we're ranging between the value area low and the point of control. This is the price action that is relevant to us right now. This price action is what's relevant to us right now. We've been in here for about 2 months. So now we can zoom in on the daily time frame and we analyze that range. That is what we're interested in. And let me just hide this channel. I'm going to show you guys the low time frame stuff in just a second. But there is a possibility that we are about to see accumulation in here. You know, whether you want to call that a Model 2 accumulation, tap 1, tap 2, we're in tap 3 right now. And then we could see expansion and breakout to the upside, probably to come up to value area high, or at least to take out some, you know, change market structure. So this, by the way, we were looking for shorts right here. We did short rate up here. 147 to 148 is exactly where we were looking. But we were also looking for potential swing longs between 125 and 123, because there is a possibility this holds and we see a big move to the upside. So I am still short. I am still in that short from about 146. I got in a little bit late, and I am still long from about 125.8. I think it is 125.8. I am looking at potentially making a new low coming down to 123 where I'll look to re-enter a trade. I'll get stopped out of my 125 long and I'll re-enter. But so now we're concentrated on this range. And you can see now we're looking and we're pulling a volume profile for this daily range. That's what this volume profile is. So now we're going to analyze the important volume levels within that daily range. That's when we can zoom in now on the 2-hour chart. And you can see we're at the value area low right now of that 2-month long range. But the larger range value area low at 123.16 or, 0.2, let's just say 123.1, 123.2 is very important. And I would like to come down and hit it. And we're also looking at a potential impulse to the downside where we could see a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and we still need a 5th wave to make a new low before ending this 5-wave impulse to the downside and seeing a bigger relief rally. And it might be a bigger relief rally to make a lower high and then another lower low, and then this accumulation lasts a little bit longer like it did in here. You get a boom, boom, and this is all kind of your tap 1 in here, and then we even got something like this here, tap 2, and we could see kind of a double bottom like this in a tap 3. But I'm still looking at potentially making a new lower low. And for the past, for this week anyways, we've been on this little range here. So let me go ahead and turn off a couple of these bigger ranges. And I'm just focusing on this sideways range that we've been seeing in here. And within this sideways range, we keep bouncing from the value area low, or like, maybe wicking past a little bit, but we rejected the value area high and ranging around the point of control. But I've been looking at a channel. So for the past, since, what was that, Wednesday's high, I can throw on this channel. That was that small blue channel here. And you can see I pulled it from the Wednesday high to the lower high down to the first big low down here. So those 3 pivots. And we've just been grinding on the hourly chart, sideways and down within this channel. And it's a possibility we could keep doing that until we take out this low. Bitcoin on this 3-wave corrective move, Bitcoin, when it dropped, it did take out that low. Solana did not. Ethereum did drop out and take out that low. Solana was one of the only ones that made a higher low here. And even today, it made a very slightly higher low again. So we're creating this liquidity trail of a low, a higher low, just barely, but coming down and sweeping out that liquidity that has been building within this range would be really nice to see. So pretty much sweeping these lows. So do we continue to grind? I thought we were going to break out of this channel. And earlier today in the Telegram, someone asked me, I said, watch for the breakout of this channel. If we start to break it, the value area high of our small range is right where the second pivot of the channel is. And when you break a channel, oftentimes you'll sweep the liquidity of the entire channel, but you at least usually come up and sweep the liquidity of the second pivot. So I was looking at a potential TP if we would have kept going here, a TP at 131.2, just based off the value area high and the liquidity grab of the second pivot. But what ended up happening just now is we had a fake out. You can see on the hourly, no hourly candle closes above the channel. It was a fake out of the highs of the breakout of the channel. It was a fake out. And now we're dropping back in. So it's just probable to me now, if we lose VWAP, VWAP is where POC is as well. So if intraday VWAP can hold us, then we might continue up to 131. But if it doesn't hold us, which it's looking like it's not going to, it's trying, let's just say that it's trying, then, we're probably going to see, and because we're going into the weekend, we're probably going to see a drop to the value area low, which is going to be in mid confluence with the channel. And that's also going to be around your golden pocket for the day. Let me get that right. Around your golden pocket, I guess closer to the 786. So, not the best confluence there, but I would be looking maybe even at just kind of grinding sideways and down within this channel throughout the weekend, right? Come down here, bounce from here, maybe come up, reject, and then just kind of see this continue until we finally come down and take out those lows and potentially even see a fake out to the downside to grab that 123 and then see a breakout of that channel. But yeah, I mean, Solana, I still do think we could be seeing the impulse, and the impulse is, in my opinion, because this didn't make a new low, unlike Bitcoin, Bitcoin made a new low, so we could say there was a fifth wave, right? Solana didn't. So we have a big 1, big 2, big 3 here. And unless you want to say this was a 1, 2, this was a 3, this was a 4, and this was a 5. Okay, then you could count in a 5-wave impulse there. And then we could be looking at a kind of a flat correction here before seeing continuation, or you could be, so far this looks relatively flat here. So I wouldn't say it's a sharp zigzag correction. What we've been seeing after this low looks pretty flat to me because we keep barely bouncing above those lows. But I'm still looking, this area to me is still really nice. And then of course, if we do start to break that, we would have to pull our golden pocket from the range highs down to whatever lows we're going to make. Let's just put it right on that 123 mark. And we would have to watch between the golden pocket and the 786 for a potential rejection. Also, if we look at our range, our 2-month long range, you can see that the value area high, point of control. Let's see, that's the wrong range. That's not this guy here. Point of control of our range is at the golden pocket, and the value area high is at the 786. So we do have some confluence for, if this is all going to finish here, you see a 3-wave corrective move here, this would be a good area to take some profit. Or you could see a move up to this area, value area high. This would still be a good area to take some profit as well. Even if it's going to make a lower high, higher low, and then continue up. But Solana's really good technical trading right now. So I would just say still looking for longs in this general area. And yeah, I'm in a long from this general area, but I'm still looking to, if we come lower, re-enter. And I will be looking for shorts because this was impulsive structure to the downside. You have to keep in mind you could put in a lower high before making another lower low. So those two areas would be very important areas. 139 and like 143. Also, this 143 area, if we turn on our 2-year long range, our major range, POC is right in there. So this is very strong resistance. All right. Get rid of this. Yeah, Mind Tapestry, I know you're definitely one of the OGs. A lot of you guys are. I know Ja Fuel is. I know you guys have been in here with me for a long time. When JC said you started your channel, I do less therapy, my full-time job, and more trading. Yeah, well, that's awesome that you're starting to trade more. Yeah, you but guys, whether you're a full-time trader or not, like the thing is, so a lot of people get into this mindset where they have to sit in front of the charts all day and be a slave to the charts. And part of the reason we would like to trade is because it does give us a little bit more freedom, kind of freedom to set your own schedule, whether you're just going to trade New York Open hours, like 4 hours during New York Open, or you're going to trade London Open or whatever. I like to set alerts on my chart and not spend all day in front of the chart. Well, I'm also a father, I do a lot with family. So there's times where sometimes I can't be in front of the chart. So it is nice to be able to set alerts, wait for it to get to your level, be patient, and wait for your setups to be kind of triggered, and then go into trade. So I think trading's great for that as well. Wave 909, what's up, man? Welcome in. French Toaster, hola to you. Welcome in. And Decrypto. Awesome to see all you guys in here for today. It's really awesome. Progress, Asafin, welcome in, man. And what's up to you? Greetings to you. No time for space. 30-minute candle close for the upside. Let's see. You're saying right now a 30-minute candle close? Yeah, I mean, we are bouncing from that POC, and that was that. Oh, this is Solana. Hold on. We are bouncing still from the POC of the little range, and it was our local golden pocket. So, yeah, we could see a little bit of a move because we really wanted to hold the VWAP and the POC. Wait, I'm on totally the wrong one. this little range. So it's kind of range POC, value, VWAP, and golden pocket. We have to watch though, now that we're back inside this volume profile, if we do this, then if we reject from the back test of the value area high, I would expect to keep coming down. You long the 5-minute green dot, 30% out already. Awesome, man. Naps are overrated. Well, Mark Dutch, I actually don't nap a lot. But yeah, family's overrated. No, yeah, right. Okay, what else should we look at here? Let me check ETH real quick, and then we will go into total market cap as well, because guys, so far the total market cap is hanging on by a thread at the bottom of the pitchfork, and we saw some kind of hanging on by a thread in here, but it looked better than here. Like, this is still kind of crappy looking, but once again, if the total market cap does start to lose this, we're in some serious trouble, because it has been our trend for quite some time now. All the year of 2025, we were grinding within that pitchfork. A significant portion of 2024 within that pitchfork. So if we do lose this overall trend structure of the pitchfork, that is when you could see some bear market price action come in. And Bitcoin's already, if we look at this same pitchfork on Bitcoin, like the wave 3 weekly Elliott structure, Bitcoin's already lost it. So I just want to warn you guys, this is looking kind of crazy here. Money flow still looks pretty bad, even though you are seeing some green dots there. And the daily time frame is what's concerning to me, because if we don't get back above this quickly, we could see that ultimate rejection and drop. Oh, wow. Okay, let me turn off these levels. So Ethereum did come up to our golden pocket area and rejected. I was also looking at a small channel on Ethereum, just like I was looking at for Bitcoin. Ethereum kind of saw that move up, after taking out the lows. Unlike Solana, Bitcoin and Ethereum did make new lows. So we took out the lows there, and then we saw a push up and a break in market structure, right? Because we broke market structure bullishly because we took out this high. And then we've been grinding since we took out that high. We've been grinding sideways and down in this channel. Now, here's the thing. When you break out of a channel like this, you often will sweep the second pivot liquidity, whether you want to say it's this guy here or this guy here. We swept it into the golden pocket. We're rejecting. But because we broke out of this descending channel after breaking market structure bullishly, this is important. Broke market structure bullishly prior, broke out of the channel. So now that we're breaking out of the channel, there is a possibility on Ethereum that we're going to bounce from the bullish backtest here and continue pushing up to take out this high. And you could even look for a scalp long there, where we look for the long on the bullish backtest, and I would wait till it bounces a little bit. So I'd be getting in a little bit. Your stop would go below wherever that low is going to be, and I would be targeting to take out that high. And that is still a great risk to reward scalp trade there. Great risk to reward scalp trade. You could even look for a TP1 after taking out today's high. Still almost a 7-to-1 risk-reward ratio there. But we are rejecting from that golden pocket. Pulled from this channel high to the current channel lows. And I do think that we might even see a move up to 3,200 here on Ethereum, because let me zoom out to the 1 hour, because there is a way that this is done. Actually, no, I'm sorry. You could look at this as a wave 1 in a contracting diagonal, right? Contracting diagonal, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5, just like Bitcoin. So it could be done, but there is a problem with that. Your wave 2 is longer than this little wave 4 in here, right? That 3-wave corrective move in a wave 4. A, B, C, and there was a B flat because you took out the A wave lows, but that could be a B flat, ABC flat, and then you get your last push down. in your fifth wave. But this is very short in time compared to that up there. So what you could say is that all of this was part of the third wave, and then this was a retrace in a 4, and now we're about to get a 5 to make new lows. And if we do, that pitchfork midline down there is looking pretty good. Let me see. Let me go to the 4-hour chart. And it would also, but we're at the value area low of our 2-month long range. So this 2-month long range, we're at the value area low. We're trying to hold on to it. But even making a new local low, it would be, I could see it happening. Let me just say that. But let's say the impulse is done. And now we're looking for a bigger corrective move up, a bigger move up. You could even come up to the golden pocket, pulled from the impulse highs to the impulse lows. And that golden pocket is also where the value area high is. Now, here's the thing in terms of Elliott wave trading, right? Impulse finishes. Sometimes you get a sharp zigzag correction up to golden pocket before continuing that wave 3 to the downside. But in terms of volume profile trading, a different kind of strategy, we had the failed auction above the value area high. We fell back inside of it, back tested it. Once we rejected it, you expect to at least drop to the POC. But if you lose the POC, you expect to drop to value area low. But so far, value area low is holding. And if value area low holds and you can get above the POC, then you expect ultimately maybe a move to the value area high. So it would make sense that if this is going to kind of hold in here and we're going to get above that POC and start to close daily candles above the POC, we could see a move over the next week to come up to the value area high. And it would just be your volume profile trading. You're filling the range each way. And so 3,200, 3,215-ish, I would be looking for shorts up here. Or TPs on long positions as well. Hedges. And on the more macro time frame for Ethereum, we are still chopping right around the bottom of the pitchfork midline. So let me go to the 12-hour chart. You can see we rejected the top of the pitchfork after taking all-time highs. We had to take those all-time highs first. So the first time we came up, and this was a distribution range that was up here, whether you want to say here or all of this was distribution range, distributed to the downside, came all the way to the midline of the pitchfork. So far, it is kind of holding, and if we could even come down for a third tap. Remember on these, if you those of you that have been around the channel for a while, I talk about how often you'll get 3 taps on a major pitchfork structure. Tap 1, tap 2. We haven't quite came down for a tap 3 yet. Tap 3, and then you could see that reversal. So there is still a possibility this midline holds, and you do get a bigger move up to like 3,600, 3,700. Very nice area up there. But within this last 2 months on Ethereum, you could look at this. There is a problem that we didn't take out the 3477 highs. So that was bad that we didn't take those out. But you could look at this as a contracting diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So 5 wave, it's a motive wave, contracting diagonal, because there's overlap between the highs and the lows. There's overlap, but that could be counted technically as a 5 wave move. You could look at this as a double zigzag to the downside, or just a pretty much a corrective structure to the downside. And then you have another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 5 wave move. Now, generally, if this was a bigger ABC, A wave in here, which is a 5 wave move, B wave here, and C wave, you want your C wave generally to take out your A wave highs. And we didn't. So that's really concerning to me that we didn't see that C wave come up to take out those A wave highs. And now we're dumping pretty harshly. So it's, you have to say that this structure is finished here because we're pretty much at the bottom of the structure already. It still could be some sort of running corrective move, like a running flat corrective move. And then maybe we're going to continue to drop here and break the midline. Zoom out to the daily time frame. We also did see local bear divs within that last push up. So within this here, higher highs in the price action, lower highs in the momentum waves, money flow draining back out. It's not looking the best here for Ethereum. And once again, higher lows all through here. Are we going to come down and sweep all that liquidity? And then, and even if we sweep it, we could see a bearish backtest of this before continuing. If you guys remember, I am still looking at the possibility of coming down to about $3,200. Because if we pull our Fibonacci golden pocket from the $1,400 lows all the way up to the new all-time high, that is more than a 100% move to the upside. So you do have to shift your fib to based off log scale. And you can see that golden pocket, 22 to 2100, let's just say that, time-wise, it could be lining very nicely if we, lose this and then kind of grind down here very nicely, and even grabbing some liquidity down there as well. But if we do come down to like $2,200, I'll be looking for swing longs down here. 22, 2100, I'll be looking for some nice swing longs down here. Even if it's going to be up and then more down. I don't like trading in the final hour of the week. Yeah, I know, right? Mark Dutch, going into the weekend, guys, it's very, first of all, volume dies off like crazy. And then you start to be rangy, or and because there's less volume in the market, you tend to see more fake outs, or the move, a big trade entering can move the price action more. So you got to be careful with that. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, he is the same Mark Dutch in Andy's channel, and he's the same Mark Dutch for Coons. He's the same. I think he's also with Jason as well. Mark Dutch is the legend of mods, legend of crypto moderators. Frankie Candles. I mean, Mark Dutch is the legend there. I'm even uglier than Divine Hood. Yeah, Mark, that's the real reason why I don't show my faces, because I'm so ugly. All right. Only gave 1/4 of the first trade. It's okay. All right. I'm short from 90,780. Awesome. That's a really good local short trade. 90,780. Okay, so you're short from it right up here. Well, you could TP now. I mean, because the now look at, guys, we're really starting to dump now. Let me zoom in on this. I would honestly be looking to take out today's lows. We front ran yesterday's lows. We front ran the daily level. So honestly, with how we're dropping now and we're starting to increase in volume, let's see if we're increasing in volume. Actually, we're not. You could look at pulling that Fibonacci from the lows to the highs. And let me fix that. Because we're losing the golden pocket, the 786 at 89,000, you might see a bounce from there, and we might continue to range. Let's see if we have any naked daily points of controls in that area. No, we are also, wait, this is our, daily, naked daily. So we're also kind of losing, even though it's not confirmed yet. The naked daily point of control for the day was right where that golden pocket was. And you're starting to lose that. So I would say if you don't bounce from 89K, you're likely to come take out the lows from the last 2 days. They're very semi-equal lows. So if you're in that short, I mean, the daily level would probably be the nice first TP for me, personally. I would be looking at taking out that daily, or bouncing, seeing a small bounce from that daily and continuing the sideways range. But I would leave some of it open, because this, once again, this could have been that 3-wave corrective move before coming down and taking out your 87K lows and coming down to $86,300. $86,300 is very, very key support, because it's your 2-month long range value area low, and it's that liquidity grab of all that key liquidity that was down there. Once again, that, let me see, is that it? So you can see at 86,300, 86,400, but this liquidity right in here. And if we look at that heat map, look at where it is, right into that. Coming down pretty much to like 86,200 would grab most of it, 86,100. And with the SFP, you want to wick past the level a little bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, come down, wick that, and then you see the bigger 3-wave move. Okay, you set a TP at 88,720. Now, 88,720, that's interesting. Why 88,720? Is that because that's the value area low of your, yeah, okay. I see. You're setting it at the value area low of this like 3-day range. Yeah, 88,700. Yeah, I see what you're doing there. Okay, you could bounce. You could still continue to range within this range. But just know that because you grabbed liquidity and rejected from that 4-hour order block, I mean, I think that you might start to take out these semi-equal lows there. What I would do personally is if you're like, okay, I think we're going to range within this 3-day range throughout the weekend. So I'm going to take some profit here at the value area low. What I would do is I wouldn't set it on my exchange yet, set the limit TP. I would set an alert right here. And as we're coming down there, I would look to see, okay, if we're going to start to bounce, then I'll take it out. If we're not, then I'm going to let it run to hit the daily. And I would also set an alert on the daily, set an alert on the daily. And if you hit that daily, I probably would set a limit TP on the daily on my exchange, whatever exchange I'm using. Yeah, if nothing, just turn Grinder back on again. Okay. Let's look at Bitcoin dominance real quick. Wow. So guys, Bitcoin dominance, and I know that on Blowfin you can trade Bitcoin dominance, but now this is a new, this is an old naked weekly point of control. It was from this area here. So as we were coming up to this area, we were looking at that golden pocket, value area high, naked weekly point of control. So we were looking for a rejection from this area. At the same time, we were looking for a bounce from the 786 value area low, but we're just grinding sideways within this structure, within this range. In this range, since we lost our bigger 3-year-long channel, this is the range that we've been grinding in, this sideways range. To let you guys know, the newer people in here, I've been looking at on Bitcoin dominance pretty much for the entire bull market. Bitcoin has been the show since, what is this? All the way back in March of 2023. So pretty much 3 years, Bitcoin dominance has been rising within this channel. And we saw a fake out, but we were able to get back in, bounce, come to the top, reject, hold the midline for a couple weeks, came up to the top of the channel, held the midline again, took the liquidity of those highs, even though it's not liquidity per se. But once we started to lose this 3-year structure, this 3-year-long trend, once we lost it, that is when we kind of started ranging sideways, right? So we're ranging sideways in dominance now after losing our 3-year-long trend. In that October 10th dump on the crypto market, of course, your Bitcoin dominance pumped, and you did backtest. It's a bit confusing because the dominance looks at a bunch of different exchanges. And if you look at this wick on the daily time frame or the 2-day time frame, it shows that you did wick up to hit the golden pocket and the bearish backtest of the channel. And generally, when you lose a channel structure, you'll bounce from a support, you'll bearishly backtest it. If you reject, you expect to make new lows below this low. But you can see on the 2-day time frame, it's shown that rejection, and now we're grinding sideways, but eventually you expect to make new lows, which would mean altcoin season or a little bit of an altcoin rally. But if you zoom in onto like the 4-hour chart, you can see that it didn't make it up there. And let me come up here and clean this up and just turn on golden pocket. You can see that we didn't hit that golden pocket. So it's a bit confusing as far as TradingView goes. And it does make it a little bit more of a challenge to say bearish backtest complete, range for a bit, and then drop. Because what could happen now is we could range for a bit, and then actually come up to hit that. But that's a pretty dang steep trend. So coming all the way up there, I mean, we would have to see. I mean, honestly, I think it would be the bear market, right? Because Bitcoin holds up a lot better than the altcoins in a bear market. So you probably see Bitcoin dominance rising during the bear market. Institutions are still interested in trading and accumulating Bitcoin, but not so much the altcoins. Okay, let's see. What else were we going to look at? Chainlink, guys, Chainlink is still looking decent, but remember earlier this week, Time Attack asked about Chainlink, and I said I want to see us come take out these semi-equal lows at 1197. I want to see an SFP, and if we do, then and it was also the bottom of the channel, then we could see a move up. Now, we are rejecting from the channel midline and the golden pocket today. That's not good to see that. And remember, between the value area low at 11.8 and the SFP of the actual range lows, so very similar to Solana, this range is actually over 2 years. It's from November of 2023. So it's over 3 years long, this big macro range. You can see all the way back to November of 2023. Now we're near the value area low of that range, and we're rejecting from the POC of the range. So we're ranging between value area low and POC, just like Solana. So now we're going to analyze that range. That's the important range. This price action between the POC and the value area low. This is what we want to analyze because it could be accumulation, right? But the big thing, unlike Solana, your initial low on the impulse down is the low of the range. Remember, Solana came down and made a tap 2. So it has a tap 1, a tap 2, and Solana could be making its tap 3 now, and then we might see that. Chainlink hasn't done that yet. So Chainlink technically would have to, if this is going to be accumulation in here, Chainlink would have to take out this low at 11.6. in order to make a tap 2, even if it's just a slight SFP. So I am looking potentially to come down and actually hit the value area low and SFP that area. But for now, we were looking at a scalp trade, a potential scalp to day trade long from that SFP at 11.97. We did get a decent scalp already, but you can see market structure is still bearish. Okay, so within this push down from this high, and by the way, we shorted this high at 14.3 because it was our 786 Fibonacci and a daily level. I deleted the box, but if you go look back on Tuesday's live stream, the box was still up there. But we're looking at same kind of impulsive structure. Wave 1, wave 2. Is this all a wave 3 before seeing that small 4 and a 5, and it's done? And now we're about to see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but now because we're dropping and rejecting this golden pocket, it's unlikely. So 1, 2, all of this is a 3. This was our 4. And now are we about to kind of continue to grind down until we hit a 5? That's kind of starting to look more likely to me, guys, because we did reject golden pocket earlier today. So that golden pocket also, I believe that was the value area high of the range. Yeah, value area high, golden pocket, rejected. And now we're even trying to lose value area low. So it's likely that we take out at least the low from earlier today but I wouldn't even be surprised if we come take out the Wednesday lows and we actually drop to 11.8 or even 11.6 or lower. And you could even look at this as a range. Let's just do that. It's not as nice because I would say it really starts going sideways here. But yeah, you could pull it either way. VWAP rules. Yes, it does. Divine Hood, would you be able to unban my husband, Josh Shanks? Somehow he got banned from your channel. I've never banned anyone in here, so maybe one of the mods did it. I can look into that. Honestly, I don't know how to unban people because I've never had to do that. But Josh Shanks, let me just write that. Let me write a note about that real quickly. And yes, I will. So I trust my mods. And if they banned him, it was probably because he was being rude or something like that. But I'll give him another chance. But just please tell him. And I'm not saying this is for sure. I'm saying I trust my mods, so they must have had a reason if they did that. But I'll unban him. But will you please tell him to be cordial with everybody, even if he disagrees with them? We can all disagree about the price action, but still, we can disagree about the price action, but still be cordial with each other. But I'll look into that. PNW Brooklyn. Alert good, but I want to sleep. Yeah. There you go. We going back down to 87.5 for BTC. Yeah, it does kind of look like it. Let me see. Yeah, guys, we're starting to lose that VWAP. That was bad that we started to lose the VWAP. And honestly, I was really, really surprised that we front ran yesterday's low, like just barely. We just barely front ran yesterday's low. And I was like, what the heck? I was hoping that we would come down and get a bounce from the daily before seeing this move up. Yeah, yep, absolutely. PNW Brooklyn. Okay, guys, we are going into the weekend, so remember, it's probably going to be sideways and boring. Thank you, Waffle Cones. I appreciate that comment, man. Appreciate you. I try to be. I really do. I try to be fair with everyone. I try to give everyone, I try to treat everyone with respect. I really do. Even if I disagree with them, just because you disagree with someone doesn't mean that they're wrong or you're wrong or it's bad. People can have differing views. Anyways, guys, I am going to get going here. There's not a lot going right now, but be aware, like I already have set my TP or my stop loss to break even on this 87,500. Actually, I think I have it put at $87,600 just because I want to cover some fees. Now, I did take some profit earlier in this live stream, but I do think that we might make new lows. And pay attention to this $86,300.50 area because it is those. What is so important about those lows? Because they're internal lows. So not a lot of people are paying attention to them because it's an internal low. People will be saying, why aren't you paying attention to this low at 84.4 or even the $80,500 lows? But we have to remember all of these higher lows were made during that holiday week, during Christmas and New Year's. Look at this liquidity trail. Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, all just barely between this low. And like the liquidity is down there. It is right down into those prior lows. You can see right into those prior lows. So coming down there with the amount of liquidity that would get stopped out there, you would expect to see at least some sort of scalp reaction, at least some sort of a bounce from that area because there is so much liquidity that would be getting taken as fuel, right? So if we do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hit that, and that's also our value area low, I would be looking for a long on the swing failure pattern. So the way we're going to long that is, of course, it would be best to see bull divs as we're coming down there. So if we would want to see bull divs between the 87.5 lows and the new lows, and see how we already have some nice, we had bull divs on the 2 hour and the 1 hour as we were coming into 87.5. But now, because we're making another drop, you could even zoom out to like the 4 hour chart or even the 6 and 8 hour chart. So I'd be looking at specifically the 4 hour chart. if we come down pretty aggressively here, hit into 86,000, first of all, with a swing failure pattern, you don't even, it's not even required to have bull divs to take the trade. The only rule to trigger a swing failure pattern is to wick below it to stop out the liquidity. And you do want to see the wick go like a couple $100 past it. And then once you start to reclaim it, you can enter, and usually I wait for like a 5-minute candle close or even a 15-minute candle close. So sometimes you're a little bit higher, but I enter, and then your stop goes below that wick low, and I would be targeting, we would have to look at some naked daily points of controls in here. We'd have to look at some new daily levels of resistance, but I would be looking, because this 5-wave impulse could be done, I'd be potentially looking to come up to the golden pocket of this entire impulse, which I think we said it was around 94,000. It would be around 94,000. Let's see here. This is theoretical right now, but let's just say we come down here. Yeah, it'd be around 94,000, 93 to 93 and a half, 94,000, and it would be right above this internal liquidity here. But so that is a trade that I'm interested in. Now, with the swing failure pattern, pierce above it, get back, pierce below, get back above, that triggers it right away. But what would be even better to see some 4-hour bull divs. So between the 87.5 lows and the new lows, if this comes down here like this, and we see now bull divs, you would also want to see that money flow starting to bottom out here. On NAMI, you would probably see a bunch of them. You might see a big one and then more local ones here, but you would overall would see something like this. And your money flow would probably dip into the red again and be crossing into the green again too. And you would see the money flow bull divs because NAMI is quicker. So if we see that, and I'll try to keep you guys updated on that. I believe I have, no, I don't. Okay. There we go. I have an alert set on that. So if it happens, I will try to keep you guys updated in the Telegram. Hey guys, we're confirming the swing failure pattern. I am going to take a long. Now, I'm not so sure this is going to happen over the weekend. To be honest with you, I do not think something like that would happen over the weekend. I think it would more likely range or grind kind of sideways and down until like midday Sunday, at least where I'm at in the world, we start to see that market take off again. But I would at least expect till midday Sunday or even Monday New York Open. But you guys, everyone, have a good weekend. Please trade safe out there. I will see you next week. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate all of you guys so much. And hit the like button on your way out. Remember, if you want to join the Telegram, just sign up with BYDFI, deposit $100 into the exchange. Once you've done that, click the Telegram link. And once you're in the Telegram, /verify in your user ID, and that will get you into the Telegram. And once you're in, you're in. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. Zcash. That's right. Really quickly, guys, I'm going to go through Zcash before we leave because someone in the Telegram asked about Zcash. Let's see. Did I do it on Coinbase? Yes. Okay. So Zcash, Olafray, was that you that posted about Zcash in the Telegram? So guys, what I'm looking at on Zcash, obviously we had a really aggressive move up on the daily time frame, you know, making new highs, at least on the Coinbase chart, we made new highs. But I've been looking for a move down, and we lost our pitchfork midline. So you can see we kind of had a fake out above the pitchfork, fell back in, fell to the midline. You bounced to the midline. You had a corrective move up to the upper band of the pitchfork. You rejected, and then we tried to bounce from the midline again. Let me zoom in on this so you can see this a bit better. You tried to bounce from the midline again. You couldn't, or you did, but you made a lower high, and now we're losing it. So I'm looking at this being a larger corrective structure because now I think if it was Olafray or whoever was posting about this, they have a different username in the Telegram. Let me go in here. Where is that at? AX909 was showing some Elliott wave counts on the Telegram here, but pretty much looking at this as a 5-wave impulse, which it would be pulled from this very key low, right? And that's your July 2024 low. It is a very key low in the market. looking at this as a wave 1, a wave 2, and all of this is a wave 3 before pulling back in a wave 4 and then seeing one more 5. Now, like he mentioned in the Telegram, there is a kind of a concern with that. Within this structure here, you don't really see a 5th wave, right? You get your wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and then you did not make a new high for a wave 5. So that's a truncated 5th wave, which is extremely, extremely rare, almost unheard of in impulses. That is concerning to me that we're starting that count out with that, and he acknowledges that. But there's no doubt in my mind that this is impulsive move. At least this here is an impulsive move to the upside. Now, depending on how we want to count this, and even if you're counting that as an impulse, it's a bit tough because you would have to say you got some 1-2s, 1-2s, 1-2s in here. You have a big 3, and then you'd have to be looking for some 4-5s in here, pretty sharp 4-5s, right? So that would be tough to look at. You know, we could say that's your 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. So there is a way you could count that as a few 1-2s that are sideways and a few 4-5s that are real sharp in here. But if you're looking at a wave 4 retracement, then you're going to pull from the bottom of wave 3 to the highs of wave 3. You're looking at between the 382 and the 0.5 Fibonacci, which I'm putting this on log scale because obviously that's more than 100% pump, and we are on log scale. 203 to 136, and really this level in here. So if we're looking at a 3-wave corrective move in here, WXY or ABC, however you want to count that, the 1-to-1 Fibonacci is right around your weekly and a naked monthly point of control at 235, 235.8, naked monthly point of control and a weekly level. It is also going to be around your pitchfork band. It might be some wickage past it, but your 1-to-1s in this general area as well. So I would definitely be looking at this general area as a potential area where you could bounce and in that corrective move and see another push to the upside. Now, if you lose that technically that is before your 382. If we don't bounce from there, you could come down to the 382 and actually hit the 382, which would be at the bottom of the pitchfork, and then see that kind of bigger rally to the upside. On the daily time frame, your money flow is starting to curve up again. You do not have bull divs on Market Cipher B, but you do have bull divs on NAMI, and NAMI is curving to the upside as well. What that shows me right now, because we're not even down to those levels of support yet. So what that shows me right now is that Zcash is probably going to see a few days of sideways and up to backtest this pitchfork midline before rolling over. So I would be watching very locally at continuing and maybe even continuing up to, around 406, 407 or so, 405 to 407. But because it was holding as such strong support, you could see come down to the midline, hold it as support. After holding it as support, come up to the lower band, the lower part of the upper band you rejected, but you made a higher low. Then you come up to the upper part of the band, reject the upper part of the band, lose it, backtest it, drop to the midline. So the midline held, and you got a decent day trade long off of that, taking out some liquidity. And now we're losing the midline. So after a second tap, we're losing the midline. So if you come up here and backtest that, that is when you could see a bigger drop to the downside. And yeah, I would be expecting, like I said, the daily time frame, you do have, at least on NAMI, bull divs, money flow coming up, but on Market Cipher B, you don't. So this relief rally could last a bit, but overall, I would probably expect some lower targets. And you could even be looking at some sort of triangle in here, right? That is going to form. And because you pumped into the triangle, you have a greater probability of pumping out of it. I'm sorry, I completely forgot about Zcash. I told AX909 I would talk about it in the live stream today, but I just spaced that until just now. So I'm sorry about that, guys. But I'm going to get going, guys, for the weekend. You all have a good day, and I will see you on Monday